Good afternoon, everyone. Country Flyboy here, and today is a very special day. A very special day indeed. Today is someone's birthday. Not my birthday. My birthday is not for another month. But today is the lovely Shahaya Kasargi's birthday. That's right. I'm one of those nerds. Just hit puberty for a second there too. I am one of those nerds, and I thought today would be a great. I thought today we should celebrate Shahaya Kasargi's birthday. And this time, instead of building a shrine to worship her greatness, I figured we'd take the Shahaya Eagle out for a spin. So we're here at Edwards Air Force Base, and we're going to fly one of my favorite little fun things. Just north of here is the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and there's a gorge that runs through that mountain range that I just love to fly through at 500 knots. So we're going to be doing that, and we're actually going to have a flight lead. So we're going to have a flight lead. We're going to be number 2. So my job is to stay in formation as much as I can with the flight lead. And we're actually going to be going through the canyon. Then we're going to fly an MTR back here to Edwards. Now, I've already flown this flight about 3 times. I flew it initially recording the flight lead. So the flight lead is actually me flying, and it's going to be a playback of AI traffic with FS Recorder. I flew it again, or just sort of watching to make sure the playback was good. And then I flew it a 3rd time with the lead plane as sort of a practice run. It's been a few weeks since I did that, so we should just go ahead and get this started. I'm going to be uploading this whole flight, by the way, depending on the size of the file. I may edit it if the file's too big, but usually the raw file is actually smaller than the file once it's edited. So I'm going to be uploading the entire thing, and one day I will hit the right button. So we're going to put a standard easy load on the plane. We'll put AIM 9s and AIM 120s on the wing pylons. And for the fuselage pylons, I'm going to just put 2 Mark 82s free fall bombs on both sides. We'll load the gun up. We'll put our targeting and navigation pod, even though we don't really need them, but I always fly with them. We're flying unguided bombs. You don't really need those. And for the center pylon, I'm actually going to put a external fuel tank because we are going to need extra fuel. We're going to be mapping the Earth pretty much the whole flight. Alrighty, so we're going to hop in, and I'm actually going to get the airplane started up. So we're going to ditch the flag and arm the ejection seat and turn on external power and the JFS starter. Wait for a second, clear that, and then we're going to start the JFS. And while that spools up, we're going to close the canopy. Once we get a ready light on the JFS, we do. We're going to crank engine number 1, or number 2. We're looking for 20% on the RPM. There's 15. And there's 20. I can access the anti-collision light now. We'll turn on those. That engine's up. We'll start number 1 now. And again, we're looking for 20% on engine 1. Engine 1's up. Alright. JFS just killed itself. Okay, we'll flip on the generators. And we're going to flip INS over to nav so it starts aligning. Leave the radar off for now. Lights are set good. Taxi light can stay off. Alright, we're just going to quickly turn on the avionics. So I got that. Hit this over to nav mode so it'll start aligning. Again, I'm going to set, I prefer the TSD over here. I'm going to need the FLIR on. I'm also going to want the HSI down here. Switch that over to nav mode. We got steer point 1 set. Okay. This over here, menu mode. We're not going to be using ATC today. We're just going to be following our lead plane. I do not know the TACAN frequency for Edwards, but the low altitude warning, we're going to want to set this to 0 because we're going to be mapping the Earth this whole flight, and that thing's going to not shut up the entire time if we don't set that to 0. Okay, with the engine generators up, I can flip off starter and external power. And I'll go ahead and latch the canopy. Alright, and real quick while we wait on the INS to align, we'll review the flight plan real quick. So we're going to depart Edwards and head through the Sierra Nevada mountain range right here. There's a gorge that we're going to go through. And once we exfil out of the range, we're going to head to the Big Sur VOR right here. Then just south of it is the entry point, aim point alpha for MTR. It actually runs all the way down to Palm Springs down here, but we cut it in half. We're going to stop it once we are just south of Edwards. So once we get south of Edwards, we're cutting off the second half of that MTR, and we're going to turn back to Edwards and land. Lead plane, I kind of remember what he does on his flight. Alright, so I've done the math, sorta, I'm basically just guessing, and bingo fuel on this trip is going to be 3,500. So at any point on this trip, if I hear bingo fuel, that means I'm at 3,500 pounds. And that should be enough fuel. If I go up to 15,500 and buster back to Edwards, that should be enough fuel to get me back to Edwards no matter where I'm at on this flight plan. If I hear bingo. Second bingo will be at 1,500. That's the low fuel warning. And if I remember correctly, we actually do get the first bingo once we, pretty much about the time we are ending the MTR and heading back to Edwards. Alright, real quick, I'm going to hop into the rear seat, set up this. I want the ADI on the left, TSD on the right. For this, we'll put the TEWS. We need this set to manual and ICS standby. We don't want to activate the jammer or anything since we're flying in civilian airspace. We're going to get pegged by radar, so don't want to jam ATC radar. That they would not like that. And for this side, we'll go ahead and just put the HSI on this side as well. You in menu mode. IFF should default to quad 0. Let's change that. IFF needs to be on 4,000, which is the MTR squawk. That way ATC knows we're speeding. Everything is set up back here. We'll set this to crosshair mode. I like that one better than the compass rose. Alright. Let's just wait on the INS to align. And our flight plan route, we got 3 steer points to get us through the canyon, and then the Big Sur VOR, and then we got aim points alpha through Kilo back to Edwards, and that'll take us around. Let me zoom this in a bit. Alright, INS has aligned. That didn't take as long as I thought it would. AI traffic in the area. There is some military AI traffic I have that comes to Edwards. That guy looks like he might be one of them. Hold on. Yeah, that's an F-117 right there. Neat. Alrighty. Yeah, he's a lone ship, too. I don't think he has a lead. Alright, real quick, we're going to go to FS Recorder, select Play as Traffic, and I doubt XSplit's going to be picking this up, but I'm going to select Edwards Air 15... This one right here. Alright, there's our lead plane. He's set up the same as us. I have a traffic playback counter in the bottom right here, and certain events happen at certain times. He starts his taxi at about 90 seconds into it. So let me set my little notepad up here so I can see it. We're going to select this over to air-to-air radar for now, even though it's on standby mode. Put this in 20-mile zoom. And I'm not going to be editing this. Well, let me turn the labels off real quick. Depends on the file size. I may upload this entire flight. If the file size for the raw recorded file is small, if it's smaller than 3 gigs, and it often is, I can probably get away with just uploading the whole raw file. As opposed to editing it, it's going to be 3 gigs by the time I get done. And I don't like to upload files that big because it takes forever. So yep, today we are celebrating Shahaya Kasargi's birthday. The lovely lady here on the side of the airplane. The Shahaya Kasargi, my one and only waifu. There's a reason I like this airplane, if you didn't know. Alright, I'm going to kill my brakes because he's going to start taxiing. We're going to flip on the taxi light. Should start taxiing here any second now. Come on, dude, don't make a liar out of me. Alright, there he goes. Alright, radar is standby, INS is aligned, taxi light is on. Alright, we're just going to follow him out. I believe he goes to runway 4. That F-117 has disappeared because when I selected the traffic file to play back, it would have reset AI traffic. Alright, that's Flight Lead Idlemaster 1 is the call sign. We're Idlemaster 2. Or just shorten that to Idle, really. Idle 1 and Idle 2. 2 F-15 Strike Eagles. Most badass airplane ever devised. Not flying with real world weather, by the way, because I think they're under IMC conditions at time of recording. The entire SoCal area, I believe, is IMC at the moment. And IMC wouldn't really work on this route. I need to be VMC conditions. He's lowering his flaps. Alright, we're going to lower ours. Check our flight controls real quick. Yep. Alright, he goes to the runway and he holds on the runway until about 440 seconds. And we'll take off together. If I remember correctly, he climbs up to 1,000 feet and he just turns straight north. It's not a abrupt departure. We actually select cruise at 15,500, but that's not until we're on our way to Big Sur. So we actually stay low when we're in Edwards, and then we go up to 8,500 on our way to Steer Point 1. Steer 1. And at Steer 1 is our fence in point. We'll fence in at Steer 1, or just on the other side of Steer 1, and then we dive down into the gorge, and we are low the rest of the way. And this is one of my favorite things because it's actually really fun if you're busting through the gorge at 500 knots. Okay, that's runway 4 we're coming up on here. God, I love the Shahaya Eagle. It's such a pretty airplane to look at. Shahaya is a pretty character to look at, too. I love Shahaya. I might have mentioned that. I call her my one and only waifu, because she is. There are reasons for that. There are personal reasons that I don't want to talk about as to why I think of her as a waifu. Basically, the TLDR version is, I see a lot of myself in that character. I can relate to that character on so many levels that it's scary. What the hell is going on there? That is not legit at all. Alright. Let me go ahead and set our lights to landing. And our externals are set. And we'll go ahead and flip the radar on too. Ooh, look at the traffic in that direction. 20. We're in the SoCal area, some of the busiest airspace around. And before he gets in takeoff, I just want to look and see if that F-117 is back over here yet. Doesn't look like he is. If I remember correctly, that F-117 comes and does a touch and go here. Alright, Alright, he lines up at 360 seconds, which is right now. Hide the menu bar there. Alright, he lines up on the left side of the runway and we'll take the right side. Ignore that. That was when I recorded him. I hit the wrong button and accidentally opened the canopy. Oh, that's funny. You know, well, I meant to hit shift something and accidentally hit shift E, which opens the canopy. Alright, we're going to have to watch him on takeoff because there's no sound files that play to let me know when he's going burner. So I'm basically just going to line up. I'm going to watch him. I'm going to hold my brakes. And he begins his takeoff run at 440 seconds. So at 440, I'm going to advance my throttle forward. He's actually doing it now. So we're going to go forward. Run up, brakes off. And burner. Now, I know there was a few seconds delay before we go burner. And he rotates. Airborne, gear up. 180 flaps up. Burner off. We go to the end of the runway. And then he does a hard pitch up. We climb up to 1,000 feet above the field. So it's a QFE of 1,000. I don't know what QFE setting is right now, but we go up to 1,000 above the field, which we set by radar altimeter. Right, there he goes. He's burner again, so we go burner. We're going to try to stay in formation with him as best we can. Turns north for these two peaks here, for Twin Peaks, I believe is what it's called. And we actually head for steer 1. Yep, right here he's rolling level. Here's North Base we're flying over. We head out to steer 1. Now it's relatively a straight shot. Once we get to those hills over there, we'll climb up to 8,500. And we stay at 8,500 until we're at steer 1. The reason being is there's a civilian airport and we can't be any lower than 1,500 feet above that. So 8,500 will give us plenty of clearance from that civilian airport because there may be airplanes in the pattern there. So the civilian planes know we come over at 1,500 feet above the field, so as long as they are below that, they shouldn't be in conflict with us. Okay, and to stay in formation, I'm really just going to watch the lead plane more than my instruments. Do what he does, and I'm going to try to keep him relative to a point on my aircraft. So, like, I'm going to try to keep him between the canopy's bracing ring here and the HUD. Is ideally where I want to keep him. That'll be a relatively close echelon formation. It's actually easier than it sounds. A little turbulent today. See, right where he is now, that's where I want to keep him. So if I see him drifting forward, I need to speed up. He keeps it about 490 knots up to steer 1, I believe. And it's me that recorded that. That's actually technically me flying both airplanes. Yeah, I like FS Recorder because you can record an aircraft and then play it back as AI traffic. It's really neat. Bit of a loose echelon going on here. Okay, steer point 1 in 3 minutes. Or steer 1 as we call it. We'll set our throttle to motor at about 87. At steer point 1, when we're just on the other side of it, we're going to fence in. And what that means is we're going to set the aircraft up for the combat setup that we discussed. We discussed this in the pre-flight briefing, how we want the airplane set up when we fence. But fence in this flight's just going to be, we're going to turn the externals off, we're going to flip the radar off, and we're going to run through the canyon, buster through the canyon with all that turned off. Radar's real easy to flip on. That button right there, the emissions limiter, I love the F-15 for that. Okay, we're getting some chirps. Means we're being spiked by a radar. That's the TEWS going off, or the RWR. RWR, like TEWS is part of RWR. Now in real life, that means a radar is looking at or a radar is scanning you, just sort of looking at your direction whenever you hear that twin chirp. But in Flight Sim, Iris just modeled it as sort of a DME indication. Right? Now that sound was the RWR picking up a new spike, meaning a new target has appeared on RWR. But again, Iris didn't model it that way, they just modeled it as a DME indication. We should get another one here at about 10 DME from waypoint 1, or steer 1. Gotta use the military jargon. Okay, I got steer 1 in sight. It's that lake directly in front of us. I'm gonna keep the formation loose for a little bit, because when we dive down to the canyon, my goal is not to stay in formation when we're in the gorge. My goal is to just keep up with the leader. I have to focus on dodging the frickin' mountains more than I do anything else. Just keep the formation loose for now. I'll turn labels back on for a second. I don't see any airplanes down here in the valley at the airport, so we're good. Still need to be at 8,500. We don't want to be any lower than that. That'll keep us about 3,000 feet above the airport, and that's good. We don't want to get mixed in with civilian traffic, because there's no way. We're moving 500 knots. There's no way they can see and avoid us. Yeah, aviation's all see and avoid at civilian airports, and when you're moving 500 knots, there's no way they can see you. So there's no way they can avoid you. Especially when you're a blue airplane on a blue background. Other than Shahaya on the wing, the Shahaya Eagle actually blends in with the sky very well. It's the blue color and white trim on it. So if Shahaya wasn't on the wing, then it would actually be pretty well camouflaged, visually anyway. There's the airport down there. Loosen this up a bit. Okay, we're going to fence in now. So I'm going to turn the emissions limiter on. That kills the radar. Switch this over to TEWS, because that'll be more useful. And we're going to flip off all the lights. Right, leads off my side there. Pull it back just a bit. Alright, so we have fenced in now. We are fenced. 2 has fenced. 2 has fenced. So emissions limiter, what that does is that limits the emissions, EM emissions coming from the aircraft. which includes killing our transponder and our radar and everything like that. So we are officially going dark and sneaking in now. If you're wondering why we turn off the radar, because a radar is a lot like having a flashlight in a dark room. Yeah, you can see things now, but everyone else also knows you're there and where you're at now. It gives you away. The radar does. So that's why we flip that off. So we'll get down here in the canyon in just a little bit. Yeah, coming up here in a little bit, the lead's actually going to turn right and dive down into the gorge. And that's when the fun begins. If I remember correctly, the first part of the canyon is actually pretty easy. It's relatively straight and wide, but about a third of the way through, there's a bit of a crest. And once you get on the other side of that crest, it gets a lot more narrow. And right towards the end, when we hit steer 2, just before steer 2, the canyon gets really narrow, and there's an S-turn. There's 2 S-turns back to back we gotta make. So I'm gonna have to slow down for that. Alright, here comes lead. He's turning in and diving in. We'll follow him. Alright, so from here on out, my goal is not to stay in formation. My goal is avoid slamming into the ground and stay as close to lead as I can. Forgive the blurry textures. Yeah, when I'm recording, load times are normally a lot better than this, but when I'm recording, it seems to... Oh, it's getting much worse. Even when I'm recording, it shouldn't be blurring up this bad. I'm going to pause real quick and see if I'm just going to disable AI traffic. That should help out a lot. Hide the menu bar. Just gonna let it load up around us real quick. Yeah, when I record, it slows down the processing time, so things get a little bit blurry. And it doesn't help that I'm going 500 knots, so it's trying to load up more than it normally does at slower airspeeds. Yeah, Flight Sim really does not like it when you go fast at low altitudes, because it tries to load these textures up so quick it can't keep up with you. Turning off AI traffic should help. And the fact that I'm recording doesn't help either. Okay, he is doing a bit of a crazy maneuver.
Obstacle ahead.
Tree! Turn labels on. Try to find him. Okay, there he is. We'll dive down and get behind him.
Obstacle ahead.
I'm also going to do one extra thing. I'm going to start recording this as a wingman. Record playing traffic. Let it sit for a second, because I know UT2 is going to load in new AI traffic.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Yep. So I'm just going to kill the AI traffic again. That will help our frame rates out quite a bit. Alright, we'll motor for about 90% on the throttle and just try to keep up with the lead plane. All we got to do is not slam into the ground. We'll check our TSD if we need to see the terrain in front of us. With the radar off, the terrain following radar is not going to work. Try not to pull too many G's. Here's leader.
Obstacle.
and low, we can use ground effect to build some speed back up. I think he goes inverted right through here because we got a nice straight shot. Yeah, it's pretty straight right through here, so I'm pretty sure he goes inverted for a little bit. Sorry for those of you who have to watch this in lower resolutions. You may barely be able to see the lead plane. I'll try to get closer to him, but my main concern right now is avoiding the frickin' ground. Yeah, he goes inverted. Let's go inverted too. We'll go into a pure pursuit with him. Alright, he's rolling back, wings level. Now, I believe up here, yes, coming up is the crest, a third of the way through the run. Now, in our actual deep strike mission, that crest would be dangerous because we could actually be spiked by a radar on that crest. Because we go up high enough that the terrain no longer provides us protection from enemy radar. So we want to get through that crest as quickly as possible. That crest is also the marker where the canyon starts getting a lot more narrow as we go. Right now it's nice and wide and straight. Yeah, I really wish they had modeled the RWR properly, but I really don't know if they could have in Flight Sim X. So they just use it as sort of a DME. You get the chirping starts at 20 DME from your waypoint or your steer point, and you get the first new spike warning at 15, a second one at 10, and that's nautical miles from your steer point. Alright, this is the crest right here. Now, I believe Wing actually makes or Leader actually makes a mistake. He goes left, or he goes right. But if you stick to the left, I believe, over here, you can get back down into the canyon faster. And getting back down into the canyon faster is what we want to do.
Obstacle ahead. Over. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Alright, he's going to come off of our right side here in a second.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
There he is. Alright, he gets back down low. Yeah, see, he was vulnerable there. A radar could have saw him for the extended amount of time he was on that crest. Alright, we're back down to the canyon now, so we're guarded from radar for now. And now the canyon gets more narrow and windy, and this is also the point where we speed up. As if we couldn't make this. Shut up, Betty. She's not going to shut up, by the way. She will bitch literally the whole flight. This is why we call her Bitchin' Betty. He gets low through here. Let's see, when's that S-turn come up? Still got a ways to go. The S-turn is not very far before steer 2. Well, we're passing steer 2 now. Steer 3, okay. Waypoint 3 is the end where we'll exfil out and then fence out, head for Big Sur. So it's not long before steer 3. Probably about the time I get my second new spike warning on the DME, that's going to be about the time these S-turns come up. And there are two S-turns that are really tight, back to back. You either have to slow down for them or practically over-G the airplane to not slam into the dirt or the rock. And on the other side of those S-turns is the lake that we use as a marker for steer 3. It's a bullseye something, I can't remember. Yes, I'm using military jargon. This way?
Ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Over G. Over.
Oh, God, that was close. Oh, Lord. Lead's laughing at me now. S-turns ain't coming up yet. The canyon, yeah, it does get a lot more crazy. So could you imagine going through here at 500 knots and much lower than this? I hear F-18s like to do it. All right, here's one of the, is this one of them or is just one of the tight turns? Nope, this is one of the S-turns. I think. That might not have been one, I can't remember.
Ahead. Obstacle
No, I don't think that was it. Let's get down really low.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Scare the hikers down there. Textures are having a bit of a hard time. I think this might be one of the S-turns. Maybe. Nah. I think they're right before the lake.
Ahead.
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done this flight. Alright, lead's about a mile in front of us. We need to give it some throttle. He's getting a little too far away from us. Not that it really matters, but not through here. But I like to stick close to him if I can. Me having to pull that over G turn back there to not die, that didn't help.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Right, there's the first spike.
Obstacle. Obstacle.
Damn, he's about 2 miles in front of me now. Let's go burner for a little bit. I don't want to go burner too often because I want to conserve fuel as much as I can. Where are we at? We're at 13.4 right now. I think this is one of the S-turns. Yeah, this is the S-turns right here. There's the second spike. So I'm going to throttle back.
Over. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Yep, here's the first one.
Over G. Obstacle ahead.
Was that them? I can't remember. Did I take a wrong turn at Albuquerque? No, I'm in the right spot. Oh, those are not as bad as I remember. Maybe I just took them too fast when I did the practice run. Alright, let's slide over this way. Try to get in a lead pursuit with leader here. Gain on him a bit. He should do a unrestricted climb here in a second. Or once we get over steer 3 pretty much is when he does it. Nope, this is the S-turns right here.
Over G. Over G. Over G.
That's the first one. I'm blacked out. That's the here's the second one. It's 2 back-to-back, pretty much hairpins. And you're moving 500 knots. It's really hard to...
Obstacle ahead.
Damn, those came up quick. I have lost lead. Burner, going up. Yeah, I took a wrong turn. Alright, I have lost my lead plane. Where is he? There he is. Alright, he's bustering. He's going up to 15.5. Well, I have failed. They're going to clip my wings for that. Alright, we're going to turn emissions limiter back off. And we're going to flip our lights on. Since we're going up to 15.5 now. Okay, he's contrailing. It's contrailing at 15,500. It's pretty cold today. Alright. Just gonna lock him up so it's easier to track him. Does he show up on radar? I'm not sure. Nope, there's something showing up on the radar there. Alright, let's try to get close to him. Yeah, see, in real life, if I wanted to find leader and he wasn't contrailing, I could just lock him up and then track him, but sadly, they didn't model this plane that way. Flip you back to nav, set you back up the way I like you. Look over there, radar. Alright, we're gonna have to go burner if we want to catch up with lead. We're contrailing too. We're only at 14.2, and we're contrailing. Alright, I'm at 600 knots. Killed the burner. How far out in front of me is he? He's 8 fucking miles. Or 6. We're catching up to him slowly, but we got plenty of time. Next waypoint is the Big Sur VOR, and we're still 10 minutes away from that. So we got plenty of time. We'll motor at... yeah, sure, 98. We'll catch up to him eventually. If anything, we'll head straight for aim point alpha and we'll intercept with him. We're gaining on him, so. Well, that was my fault there. Did good right up until the end. Alright, we're gonna turn off the stop recording. And I'm going to go back and do a little fun video with those two. And AI traffic is resetting. Yep. And to keep the frame rate up, I'm going to re-disable that. Without the AI traffic, the frame rate's a lot better. Normally it's not a problem, but when you're recording at the same time, it gets to be a bit problematic. He's 4.7, 4.6. Let's go burner again, speed back up. Back up to 600 knots, and then we'll kill burner back to 98. We're at 11.3 on the fuel. There's 600 knots, kill burner, throttle back to 98. Lead is laughing at me in his airplane right now. He's like, aha, you lost track and you fell behind. Let's get to the ditch real quick. That was the first half of the flight. The second half, we're on an MTR, which, switch this back over. No, not that, that. The second half of the flight, we joined that MTR right there. That's actually an easy part. We hug the ground for the most part, but there's really not too much in terms of terrain that is problematic for us. And we can leave the radar and all that on. So I might play with the TF radar for a bit. Alright, we're going to go burner again. We should be able to catch up to him this time. I'm staggering my burners because I don't want to burn through the engines. Plus, fuel is going to be a concern. I'm at 11.4 or 10.4 with 600 on the external. Fuel is an issue because we go bingo pretty much at the last waypoint before we turn back to Edwards, so I need to keep a close eye on the fuel. Okay, we're 1 mile trail. Idle 1, idle 2 is chicks in tow, 1 mile trail. We're contrailing at this altitude. That's interesting. Turn the label back off. Damn, how fast is he going? Burner one more time. Should be able to catch up to him. Looks like a freaking meteor, doesn't he? That's that white plume clouds coming off of him. All right, we have rejoined with our lead. Complete rejoin. Only took us half a freaking hour. Well, about 4 minutes. We were 10 minutes away from Big Sur when I realized what had happened, and now we're 6 minutes away, so 4 minutes. 4 minutes away from, so 6 minutes at Big Sur. We go feet wet for a little bit, and then we dive down and join the MTR. So he's moving about 460 knots. Now, MTRs are military training routes, and you really need to keep your eyes open when you're flying near one as a civilian pilot, because they don't use them that often, but when they do, they're going to have fighter jets or even C-17s or KC-130s on there sometimes. They're moving like 500 knots, and they're 100 feet off the ground. I tell you, it's really interesting. I've seen, there's one that runs right by my house, and I've seen a C-130 on that one before. It's really interesting to see a C-130 just treetop level going as fast as possible. Up there in Savannah, they have C-17s doing them. I bet that's a show. So this time we're going to be on the MTR ourselves. We're the ones that the pilots have to watch out for. See and avoid was not made for planes that move 500 knots. Let's get on the left side of leader real quick, so we can get a good look at the lovely Shahaya Kasargi on the wing. I love the Shahaya Eagle, I really do. Yeah, wang. She's a bit hard to handle when she's in a bad mood, but this plane's talent is undeniable. Spread your wings and fly. Oh yeah, tight formation right now. We'll loosen it up when we get closer to Big Sur. It's motored at 460. The Shahaya Eagle first appeared in Ace Combat 6 as DLC, sort of a nod to the Idolmaster series made by the same company that makes Ace Combat. They made DLC planes, and I'm a big fan of the Idolmaster series. I've watched the anime. I don't have any of the games, sadly, but that's mostly because they're not localized. Like the mobile versions are, and I do plan on getting the mobile version one day. But the console versions of the game only work on Japanese consoles, and I live in the US. Plus, they're in Japanese only, and my Japanese is not that good. And by not that good, I mean I can't really speak it at all. I'm learning it. I am taking lessons, but Japanese is interesting language. I mean, I know about half of the hiragana now, and I can formulate basic sentences. Watashi wa tabete imasu. I am eating something. Nani is what? Nani o nondemasu ka? What are you drinking? I had to think about that one for a little bit. I know some of the hiragana. I know about half of the hiragana, or hiragana, I should say, and none of the katakana, and absolutely no kanji either. Alright, we're getting close to Big Sur. We're going to get on his right side again, because we're going to go echelon right for this flight. Right in his jet wash like an idiot. little bit to go feet wet. We'll loosen the formation up then. But anyway, yeah, it was a nod to the Idolmaster game series, those paint jobs were, and they actually changed some physics on the planes with them. Like the Shahaya Eagle is faster and more maneuverable than the stock Strike Eagle is. It also has more it also accelerates faster. It's like it's got beefier engines. But that comes at a cost. The plane cannot take a hit at all. Like one missile blows it out the sky in ace combat, where it normally takes two. It takes two missiles to kill the stock Eagle in ace combat, but the Shahai Eagle can only take one. And fun little fact, when it takes damage, it will go into a nosedive and the controls lock up for about a second and a half. So that's fun. And that's why they say she's a bit hard to handle in a bad mood, because when she takes damage, she can kill you. And that has killed me more times in ace combat than I can count, is when she control locks. Even after taking like a one bullet to the wing, control locks smash to the dirt. They called that the Shahaya Spiral. It's a reference to the, I think, the arcade version of the Idolmaster game. Watch the anime. Just watch the Idolmaster anime. There's three of them. There's the Idolmaster, which is the main one, which is sort of the anime version of Idolmaster 2. There's the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, which I think is the latest one, just stopped its run about this time last year. I haven't watched that one yet. And then there's the one we don't talk about, called Idolmaster Xenoglossia, which you can watch if you want, but the term watchable garbage comes up when I think about Xenoglossia. He's gonna loosen up. We're gonna loosen up here. He goes feet wet in just a second. He's gonna turn. Yeah, because we're passing Big. Yep, here he goes. We're passing Big Sur now, so we're gonna loosen up the formation a bit. He's gonna start a dive here in a second. Go feet wet for a little bit, and then he dives down towards aim point alpha and join the MTR. Combat spread, combat spread. Lock your AMRAMs up and fox them. Chirp, chirp. Contrailing at 15,500. Alright, he's rolling over. Yep, here comes the dive. Alright, contrailing altitude looks to be 14.5. Useful to know, so we don't want to climb above 14.5. Now, we're not going to fence. We're not going to fence for this one. We want to leave our radar and lights on. Because civilian planes can and often do fly close to MTRs. We want to be as visible as possible on this. Just want to try to stay. I do want to try to stay as in close a formation as possible while on the MTR, but that is easier said than done. I'm going to log my fuel. I'm at, oh God, I'm at 8.4. Oh Lord, this will be fun. I'm probably going to be bingo before aim kilo.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Right, and from here on out, we are on the MTR, so we're hugging the earth. We are kissing the ground from here on out. Whoa, slide right, slide right. A little bit of rudder. A little too close to the leader there. Okay, we'll hold this course. Throttle back up. Try to find lead. There he is. Slide right behind. between these little crests here, and we'll get down low. So typically, it's a bit hilly, but we don't want to be more than 300 feet off the ground for the most part. It's 300 feet off the deck at 500 knots is what we're aiming for. We'll slow down some, let the lead plane overtake me.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Alright, we handled that okay. Come on, textures. So we are kissing the ground at treetop level, basically, on these things. Well, some of them. Some of them are 1,500 feet. Well, Lead's having him a good time, isn't he?
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Trees! Chirp, chirp. And see, we hug the ground, so when we come on terrain like this, we do just that. The reason we roll over as we come over the tops of these hills is because we want to pull positive G's when we can.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
It's better to pull positive G's because the plane can take more positive G's than it can take negative G's.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Love that sound.
Obstacle ahead.
Iris did a great job on this plane.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Yeah, this plane can take like 7.5 positive G's, but it can only take like 3 negative G's.
Obstacle ahead.
Alright, you want to go inverted?
Obstacle ahead.
So we want to pull positive G's when we can. That's why we roll over those hilltops. Hello, farmers. How you doing? Don't mind us. We're just working. We're hard at it. We are hard at it. Yeah. If this was what you called hard at it, I want your job. Through the trees. Those were not there when I recorded that. Eek! Bam! We just remodeled the bird's nest. A little bit hilly. Wake up the campers. It's actually like 1 in the afternoon in California right now. So if the campers are still asleep, they're just not getting up anywhere today. Wow, Lee just loves to go inverted, doesn't he? Who's flying that thing? I am. I swear, these trees were not here when I recorded this. So those trees were not there, and he's just plowing through them.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Wow. Wow, Lee, you are just giving all the birds a free remodel on their nest, aren't you? Yes, you are. I swear to God, those trees were not there when I recorded this. I recorded him.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Yeah, he's gonna go right through these too. Bam! There he goes. That is a taxpayer. The taxpayer is on that plane, and you're just wrecking it. Hold this course for a bit. What's our fuel? We are at 7.5. We are burning through all of the fuel.
Obstacle ahead.
If we go bingo, it's going to depend on where we are on the route. But I say if we go bingo before Point Kilo, I may have to RTB without leader. Because we do cut it kind of close. Should, if I planned it correctly, we should go bingo just prior to Point Kilo. Lead's just having a good time.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle
Betty
ahead.
just won't stop bitching. Turn that label on. It's getting really hard to see him. See, I can barely see my lead plane. He's only half a mile in front of me. So try to see and avoid that when you're at perpendicular intercept to them and they're moving 500 knots across the ground. Try to see and avoid that. Good luck.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
Obstacle. Obstacle. That's the new rap. That's my new rap song. Obstacle. Obstacle ahead. Because I am a rap guy.
Obstacle ahead.
Not really.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle
Black
ahead.
guys can't dance and this one can't rap. Okay, let's throttle up a bit. Try to get closer to lead. Since we got a nice open area here. Oh, he's inverted again. Wow, lead just loves to go inverted. Let's see if we can slide under him Top Gun style. Lead loves to go inverted. That awkward feeling when you're the lead plane and you're talking about yourself. I don't want to go burner because we're not too far behind him. And I want to save as much gas as I can. So we'll motor at 99.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
He's going to roll back level before we can get to... Yep, there he goes now. Damn it, lead. If I remember correctly, there is one point where he actually does smash into a mountain. When I recorded this, I was actually on TeamSpeak with some friends. And we were talking, and I wasn't paying attention, and I smashed into a mountain. Or no, I don't smash into it. I pitch up at literally the last second, and I pull enough G's to basically rip the wings off the plane. What's up, lead? How you doing? How you doing? Two Shahai Eagles mapping the Earth in SoCal. I need to find a bomb range. Put some new craters in it. Bush. Or a large bush, actually. It's more like a tree. Sadly, the Shahai Eagle is the only Idolmaster paint job I've ever seen recreated outside of Ace Combat. I've never seen the Haruka F-22 or Makoto's on the Eurofighter. I'd love to see... Makoto's my second favorite character in the series. She don't hold the candle to Shahaya, but Makoto's awesome. I like Makoto. She's a badass. And she's on the Eurofighter, if I remember correctly. And didn't somebody make a Eurofighter? I think Just Flight makes a Eurofighter for Flight Sim, and I think one just got released for DCS. So somebody put the Makoto texture on the Eurofighter, please. This is probably the most popular Ace Combat Idolmaster paint job because it's in Ace Combat 6, Assault Horizon, or variation of it is in Assault Horizon, and another variation of it's in Ace Combat Infinity. And it wouldn't surprise me to see if they're in Ace Combat 7 when that comes out. We're back in Stranger Hill, motherfucker. And yeah, I've seen it. Where else have I seen this? In DCS. Someone made one for the DCS F-15C. And this is the Iris F-15E, and Ray Rotmas, I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Yeah, we're a little too close there. It's a really awkward view when that happens. Yeah, he made this paint job for the Iris F-15. I thank you, Ray. I love you forever for this. Shahaya is my one and only waifu. Yeah, well, I can do it twice, lead. Beat that. Where'd he go? Yeah, I can do a aileron roll twice in a row, but I can't keep in formation for shit. Beep, beep, beep. And that alarm gets your attention. The incoming missile alert alarm is it's not as obnoxious as you would think it is. Like, you would think that would be the most obnoxious, heart-stopping sound, but it's not. It's just a whoop, 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 like that, and it repeats every 15 seconds as long as the missile's tracking you. That's in addition to the fast chirp alarm you would get from the RWR with a radar that's actively targeting you. Because that double chirp that you're hearing every 3 or 4 seconds, that just means a radar is looking at us. If a radar were to actually start targeting us, that would go to a constant fast chirp. Chirp, 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 like that. And I believe the buddy spike sound is a sort of, no, that might be the F-16's RWR. I can't remember what the F-15's buddy spike sounds like.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Check fuel. We are at 6.1. First bingo's at 3,500. We're halfway there. Where are we on this route exactly? There's Edwards. We should be okay. Yay! Leader! Jesus Christ! One of us needs to watch where we're flying. And it needs to be me, because you are a playback. Throttle back a bit, let him overtake me. I wonder what that looked like from the cockpit view. Man, but that was scary. Just all of a sudden there's a frickin' fighter jet in your face. You're getting an up-close and personal view of the exhaust pipes. I wish somebody would make an F-15. GTA Skyline Freak, if you're watching, can you make an F-15 for GTA 5? And somebody put a Shahaya Eagle paint job on it, please? Because if you do, it's like, this is the only fighter jet I ever fly anymore in Flight Sim. And every time I fly it, I'm in the Shahaya Eagle. I am a complete nerd. I have a little bit of an unhealthy obsession with this character, I think. Beep, beep, beep. Roll it. Map in the earth. Roll it again. Throttle back. Because we're getting a little overtakey. Right into jet wash. Let's move over to the side a bit. Don't want to end up like Goose, do we? That was a Top Gun reference, if you didn't get it. Hadn't seen that movie in a while. Freaking watched Space Jam the other day. That was on TV for some reason. Well, was it Michael Jordan's birthday and I didn't know about it?
Ahead.
Okay, we are coming up on aim point Foxtrot. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Let's go to a lead pursuit for a bit and gain on lead for a second here. He's outrunning us. He don't have to worry about fuel. Yeah, Mr. There had infinite fuel. Well, he didn't when he recorded it. But since he's a playback as AI traffic, he don't have to worry about gas. I do. We're at 5.6, coming up, or about 3 minutes out from Steer Golf, or Aim Point Golf. Steer 11, as the UFC is saying, Steer 11 Alpha. Wonder what Edwards tacking frequency is. That might be useful. Don't really need it. I mean, I can GPS go straight to Edwards if I need to, but don't really. Do they even use tacking that much anymore?
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
See, in real life, you'd have your lead telling you what he's about to do, so you'd see it coming. But I'm reacting, not acting to what the lead does.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle. Obstacle. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
See, here in a second, we actually pass over what looks like some sort of resort. I think it's right up here.
Obstacle ahead.
Like 1 minute out from Steer Golf, or Steer 11. I'll get the name right one day. It's either or. In the GPS, it's called Aim Point Golf, but UFC's calling it Steer 11. I think I'm confusing Betty. She doesn't know what to do. Yeah, right here. There's some kind of community or something. It looks like a resort almost. Well, anyway, let's wake the rich people up. I'm going to assume that's a resort where rich people go. What's up, rich people? Look at what your tax dollars pay for. Us having fun. Nah, there is a point to this. This is all training. It just happens to be really, really fun training.
Obstacle ahead.
Let's see. Hotel. Got about 4 points to go. Fuel check. We're doing 5.1 it looked like. This is not good. When it says bingo, I'll do a quick check to see where we're at. If I don't think I can make the whole flight, I'll bust her back to Edwards. We're not far from Edwards now, so no, we're literally right next to it. Well, there's an interesting waterway. got a nice straight path for a bit. Let me do a real fuel check real quick. Oh God, we're at 4.9. Oh Lord, bingo's coming. We're gonna hit bingo before point kilo. We may be able to complete the run. When it actually says bingo, I'll look and see where we're at. Coming into some more mountainous areas, I'm going to flip the terrain radar on. So we can play with it. So that's a 1,000 foot elevation. Anything at 2,000 feet in front of us? Yes, quite a bit. How about 3? Yeet. All right, leader. I'll follow you, but let's not slam into a mountain. Good God, he's low.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle.
I love this airplane.
Obstacle ahead.
Even though Betty won't shut up. Well, I guess that is her job. I need to get the DCS F-15. I think I'm going to buy that. I know Europe or American Truck Sim comes out soon. I'm probably just going to buy them both together. I think it ain't but like 15 bucks for the DCS F-15. And I can put the Shahai Eagle on it? Oh, hell yeah. It's not the same, though. It's not the exact same paint job. There's 3 main paint jobs for the Shahai Eagle. It's all F-15Es, and that's the Ace Combat 6 paint job, which is a lot like this one. In fact, it's pretty much exactly like this one. There's the Ace Combat Assault Horizon, which was Idolmaster 2 paint job, where she's in a different dress and a different pose. And then Ace Combat Infinity's Shahai Eagle is something else altogether. I can't remember. It's a really nice looking airplane in all 3 cases. But the guy who did the paint job for the DCS F-15 actually took some creative license, and I like what he did. He has her completely different pose, completely different outfit, and completely different picture of her on the tail. And I like that because, well, it's the F-15C in DCS, not the F-15E, so it makes sense that the paint job would be a little different. Okay, is there anything 4,000 feet in front? Wow. Juliet, I think that's Edwards North Base right there on the TSD. That's Pompano. PMD, whatever that one is.
Obstacle ahead.
I'm not on Pilot Edge anymore, but I still have the Pilot Edge radio receiver. I should have that playing in the background. That would have been pretty neat.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Dead.
Over.
Just dead. We are dead. There is no living through that. Alright, lead, where'd you go? There he is. Check tape. I don't know what happened, but check tape. I'll tell you what happened. I slammed into the ground.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle
Well, it was
ahead.
bound to happen sooner or later.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
I don't even want to look at the fuel because I know it's about to go bingo here in a little bit. Well, lead slams into the ground. No, he doesn't. He doesn't slam into the ground. It just comes close to slamming into the ground at one point.
Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead. Obstacle ahead.
Just
Obstacle
dead.
ahead.
We smacked into the
Obstacle
dirt at 500 knots. There ain't no living through that. All right, that's Point Kilo. We're coming up on steer 15. And we are at 4,000 fuel, so we're good. I have lost lead. Oh, there he is, right over there. Now, the number of times I have lost the lead plane today. Okay, after Point Kilo, he turns and goes on heading 310 direct to Edwards. And then we go for the visual runway 4, a brake to land on path 2 using the overhead brake. Which just basically means we do the overhead brake to the right. I wish someone would model an F-15 Strike Eagle for DCS. I'd spend money on that. Please, it's got to have a fully clickable cockpit, though. That's the one thing I don't like about a lot of the planes in DCS. Not very many of them have clickable cockpits, because they're all, a lot of them, like especially the Flaming Cliffs aircraft, are all carryovers from Lomac. The clickable cockpits are really nice, especially with VR becoming such a big deal. VR is really going to be very popular in The Sims, I see. But you got to have a clickable cockpit for VR. There's just no, because you can't see your peripherals anymore.
Obstacle ahead.
That in VR, you need to spend $600 on an Oculus and have a beefy machine to be able to run anything on VR. You need 60 frames per second, or you're going to make yourself sick. Leader, where'd you go? Have I legitimately lost my lead this time? Oh, crap, I don't even know where he's at. He was just underneath me. Where the hell did he go? Was his label on? I can't even remember. I've legitimately lost my lead. I don't believe this. For the most part, I kept him pretty good most of the flight, and now I've just lost him. I'm an eagle without a leader. There he is, over there. Jesus, lead. How did you get there? That's Point Kilo. He's gonna beat us there. Let's aim right over here. We should intercept with him. How are we looking on fuel? Oh, we are at bingo now, so. Yeah, he's turning at Kilo now. He's at steer 15. We're gonna put in a lead pursuit with him. Rejoin. That was embarrassing. Lose my lead plane like that. Okay, he has 310 direct to Edwards. We're rejoining. Copy, rejoin. Did I set bingo? I set bingo at 3,500, I think. Or did I set it for 3,000? I set it for 3,000. Oops. minutes out from Edwards. Right, we head this heading until Edwards is in sight, and then he joins the wide left downwind for 4, right downwind for 4, and we do the overhead brake path 2. Guys, let me do that. Set bingo at 3,000 instead of 3,500. That could get you killed. A little bumpy. Clear air turbulence. Doesn't help, we're going 530 knots.
Bingo. Fuel. Bingo. Fuel.
Yep, there's first bingo at 3,000. We're good though. We're on our way back to Edwards now. In fact, I think I have Edwards coming into sight. Get a drink of water. I'm talking this whole time. When he starts to make the path for runway 4, I'm going to get on his left side because he goes the path 2 brake, which is a right brake. And I need to be on his left when he does that. I'm going to go ahead and hit him. Well. On his left side, I'm going to set my lock spot view to look to the left, and that's just me getting ready for the brake because I need to be able to see things. Runway 4, I'm going to set this to GT mode. Runway 4's heading is about, really just put HSI on this side, wouldn't I? Be better. 040. Close to your lead. Don't want to be too far behind him. Set this to center view, 10 marine zoom. Turning, you should be making the line up for the offset on runway 4 now. Check that out. It's cool. Yeah, we want to loosen the formation up a bit when we do the overhead. I'm just going to come in slightly offset to his left and a little bit behind him. I am ready for the break. Path 2 to the right. 400 knots is what we want to be at. Or at least 400 knots, no slower. He should be braking about halfway down the runway. I'll brake about 2/3. He's at the brake. 3, 2, braking. Air brake out. There's 250, gear down, flaps down, throttle up just a little bit. Right, we are beam the numbers, so we'll start down. He's on his turn. Be approach speed about 180 knots. Right, we're on our turn. At about 1 mile trail. Alright, we'll just turn right for the numbers. Nice easy turn for the numbers. Brake out. Keep the nose up. Use aerodynamic braking to slow the plane down to 100 knots before using your wheel brakes. That's why air bases have nice long runways. Because these planes don't have reverse thrust, and the F-15 doesn't have a drogue chute either, so it relies on aerodynamic braking to slow it down. Really, I can just use aerodynamic braking the whole way, just keep my nose up, and it's drifting down now because it's losing airspeed. Alrighty, don't even need the wheel brakes. I'm gonna shut the TEWS up. Exit the runway to the left. We gotta go all the way to the end, though. We'll follow lead back to parking. Go ahead and unlatch the canopy, and we'll flip the. Well, no, I'm not gonna flip that on yet. But we will flip the radar off. That needs to be on standby. Depending on how this video works out, I might do another MTR in the future. One around where I live. But I normally do most of my flying out of Moody Air Force Base when I'm flying a fighter jet, because that's the closest Air Force Base to where I live. It's like closest, it's like a 2-hour drive away, but... Alright, lead is exiting the runway now. Idle master flight, taxi the parking area. Alright, and we'll follow lead all the way to parking. Pass by, there's 2 F-15s and a Predator drone on our right parked up here. Okay, flip this over to taxi, and our air brake can fold in now. And we can raise the flaps. Go ahead and flip position lights off. We still got the anti-collision light on. And we can turn formation lights off too. TF radar on. That's not going to be on as long as the radar is on standby anyway. Yep, there's a couple of F-15, I believe those are F-15Cs, and that is a Predator drone. Did somebody make a Predator drone add-on for Flight Sim? Parked up here at the ramp slot, we have appears to be a KC-135, a couple of C-130s, and a C-17, I believe. There's a C-17 in that hardened shelter over there, and in this large hangar right in the middle of the HUD too. A couple of Ospreys in there as well, if I remember correctly. I like it. I love the scenery for Edwards. Most of this is default. The static airplanes placed around here are non-default, but the default scenery for Edwards Air Force Base is really nice. This is mostly default. All these buildings, that radio tower, that's all default scenery. Just the static planes are non-default. Really, really neat looking radio tower too. Or control tower. Yeah, you can see that C-17 parked in the hangar there from here. We'll get a better look at it as we taxi by the open door here. Yeah, that looks like a KC-135. This airplane does come with an Edwards Air Force Base paint job for the F-15. This airbase? This airplane. Yeah, well, I was too busy actually steering the plane to look at it. Yep, that's a KC-135, a couple of C-130s, and a C-17. There's some A-10s up ahead. Just want to get this preset for, make sure that's the line for takeoff trim. C-17. I think there is I wonder if there's a C5 Galaxy parked around here somewhere. I'll have to look. See some A-10s up ahead. We'll be parking next to some F-15s. And there is also some F-16s up there in the chase airplane paint job that Edwards Air Force Base has. He should turn off the taxiway here in a minute. I got the power. Man, you just want to hear freaking Top Gun music playing. Not that that was a Top Gun song. Kenny Loggins music just needs to be playing while you taxi one of these birds in. Alright, and we'll align wingtip to wingtip with lead here. Right, brake set. Flip off anti-collision light because we can't really. I'm going to set this to store. Hook up external power. Radar's off. INS is store mode. Takeoff trim. Taxi light off. Kill the engines. Flip off the generators. Once the engines spool down, double check all our switches. We'll disarm the ejection seat, open the door, and flip off external power. His taxi light's still on. Either he parked too far forward, or no, I didn't park far enough. Oh well. Anyway, that was a pretty fun flight. Let's go to Leeds view real quick. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. That was a full flight. Fucking hell, that took fucking 2 hours on that shit. Yep, 2 hours, and we flew through the Sierra Nevada mountain range to the Big Sur VOR. I couldn't keep information worth a damn. But anyway, that was this flight completed. That was a tribute to the lovely Shahaya Kasargi. Happy birthday, Shahaya. Thank you for existing. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next time. Jesus Christ, took half a